Mirei's life runs on one fuel: work. She wakes up, opens her laptop, edits until midnight, and calls it a day. The closest thing she has to a social life is eating alone while watching a movie. On her morning commute, she puts on headphones and daydreams about a beach. Then, a kid smears chocolate across her jacket, and the fantasy ends before it starts. At the production company where she works, her colleague Park Kyung-nam is charming, efficient, and infuriating because every time a nightmare project lands on the table, he finds a way to dodge it and leave it with her. Their current assignment, managing Song, a famous but impossibly demanding writer who calls at 3 a.m. crying over reader comments. Mirei remembers the last time she handled Song. She was with her college boyfriend then. She was available for the writer almost around the clock, calls ignored, plans canceled, her relationship quietly falling apart in the background. That's what that job cost her. So she brings sweets to the manager. So does Kyung-nam. He gets out. She doesn't. Then, at a friend's wedding, she runs into her ex. He's engaged now. Standing across the room, she watches his fiancée laugh with friends about flowers and seating charts, and she thinks back to a walk they once took, a father carrying his son on his shoulders, her ex saying he wanted that someday. She remembers telling him, "Every time you talk about the future, you only talk about yourself." That night, walking alone to clear her head, she gets a work message, then another. Song wants to meet. Tomorrow. Already. The meeting turns into something unexpected. A tech founder joins them at the table. He's building a virtual dating app, and the characters inside it are based on Song's stories. He pulls Mirei aside after and offers her a free trial. Put on the device, enter the virtual world, give a review. There's a payment involved. She goes home that night, puts it on, and blacks out. She wakes up on a beach. A man is surfing in front of her. The waves surge. He goes under. Without thinking, she jumps in and pulls him to shore. A guide appears inside the app, explains the world she's entered, hands her a ring for logging in and out. When the man opens his eyes and sees her, she slips the ring off and snaps back to her bedroom. But everything she felt there, the salt water, the panic, his weight in her arms, was completely real. The next day, she goes back in. This time, the scenario is different. She's his secretary, he's the CEO, and the script has him confessing that he hasn't stopped thinking about her since she saved him. The words are so aggressively romantic that her stomach turns. She logs out mid-sentence. At work, she avoids looking at the decorative statue of his character on her desk. She turns its face away, but she keeps going back. She starts noticing that the stories she's managing, Song stories, feel stale. The dialogue is cliché. She actually enters the virtual world to test edits, rewriting the heroine's lines, giving her sharper responses instead of passive sighs. The novel climbs to #1 in the rankings. Mirei takes credit, quietly, and turns the statue's face forward for the first time. Then, the app company calls. Her trial ends, but she still has unused hours. She's told there are nearly 900 characters in the system. If she walks away now, she'll regret it. She goes home, picks up the device, and tells herself, it's just dopamine. The app gives her exactly what real life never did. And that's a dangerous thing to discover. She logs back in and finds herself in her 20s, on a university campus at a kendo club, and this time her virtual boyfriend is Park, a star athlete. They train together. He teases her. She beats him at his own sport and doesn't understand why. Walking back from practice, it rains. They run through it laughing, completely soaked. She tells him she likes him. He says they barely know each other, but doesn't walk away. Meanwhile, in real life, her ex posts a wedding photo. She blocks him without hesitating. Back in the app, she and Park grow closer. He sits with her on a bus to a training camp, lets her rest on his shoulder while she quietly cries over memories she thought she'd buried. Inside the app, nothing can leave her. That's the whole point. He takes her up a mountain under a sky full of shooting stars. He tells her he likes her, leans in, and then her trial subscription runs out and she snaps awake to a rating screen. She stares at the ceiling for a long time. A month passes. She focuses on work. Then her friend tells her there's a blind date set up. Couldn't warn her earlier or she might have canceled. She shows up wearing the outfit she bought at the wedding. The man is interesting, attentive. At the end of the night, he asks for an answer, and she says, okay, mostly because she doesn't know how to say no, and spends the whole ride home talking herself out of it. She opens the app, checks the subscription packages, laughs at the prices, and subscribes anyway. This time she gets a house inside the virtual world, an assistant, a calendar of dates. She cycles through scenarios, a flight attendant falling for an intelligence operative, a hospital romance, a celebrity fling, collecting feelings the way other people collect stamps. In real life, she makes spelling errors at work. She calls friends and finds them busy with their own lives. She goes home and logs in. Then Park reappears, 10 years older in this new scenario, sitting across from her in a cafe, asking where she disappeared to. She knows the app is extending her subscription on purpose. She doesn't care. She gives him her business card. He says they should meet more often. When she logs out, her phone rings. It's Park, calling her. In real life, she runs to the app guide. The fine print is right there. Characters can maintain contact even after logout. His messages, his calls, all of it bleeding through. She sends butterflies in the chat like a teenager and tells herself it's fine. At work, Kyung-nam keeps appearing at the edges of her day. He invites himself on her commute. He brings her coffee and mentions almost casually that her last script was actually good. On a work trip, when her phone falls into icy water, he's the one who steps in to get it back. That night, she sees her coworker resting her head on his shoulder and feels something she doesn't want to name. On the drive home, alone in his car, he says it plainly, "I like you." She asks him to repeat it. He does. She spends the next week avoiding him. When he finally corners her and asks for an answer, her phone buzzes. Park, asking if she's in a relationship. She tells Park yes. He backs off without argument. She watches him go and wonders why she said it. At work, she discovers that Park's character in the app has the highest ratings. 12,000 users are logging in to experience the same walks, the same rain, the same starlit mountain. She gets jealous of women she's never met over a man who doesn't exist. If you've ever chosen safe over real, subscribe. She goes back into the app and he gives her flowers and she can't feel anything. She logs out. The app offers her a solution. Build her own boyfriend. Write 2,000 words describing exactly what she wants, personality, background, values, and they'll generate him. The next day at work, she sees the custom character's face for the first time. It looks exactly like Kyung-nam. She spends the rest of the day unable to look at him directly. The virtual world keeps giving her a polished version of what's already standing right in front of her. She starts to understand the difference, and it unsettles her more than she expected. In the virtual world, her custom character takes her on a night hike, jokes with her, holds space for her in a way that feels nothing like the scripted scenarios before. She starts to feel something shift. Not love exactly, but something close to trust. She logs back in more and more. And then Kyung-nam finds her phone, a love confession with a barcode. He scans it. A video plays. Her virtual character, his face, her voice. He doesn't say anything. The next morning, he comes home with breakfast and acts completely normal. She pretends not to notice. That night, an app notification appears on her screen asking if she wants to continue. He's awake. He sees it. Everything clicks into place for him. He asks for time to sort through his feelings. She respects that. She logs into the app one last time and meets the virtual character who tells her with a smile, "He saw me and freaked out." Then, crisis. Song finds out her contract is being reviewed and storms the office. In the chaos, a statue breaks and Mireille gets hurt. Kyung-nam sees it happen and doesn't know what to do. He comes to the kitchen, helps with the bandage, says nothing important. But he's there. He stays cold for a few days. Then she does something she wouldn't usually do. She walks into work confident, head up, dressed like someone who isn't waiting for anyone. He notices immediately. Later, he finds her outside the building and explains, slowly, like it costs him something, that since the day he started liking her, he's been changing. He didn't tell her because her change, he knew, would be the hardest. He's crying. She reaches up and puts her hand on his face. They go to the cinema that weekend. He's scared of the horror movie and won't admit it. They eat after, take pictures, leave together. In the weeks that follow, the real relationship is messier and quieter than anything the app ever gave her. He sends her work messages about dinner. He falls asleep at her desk. He draws her, the same way the virtual character once did, and she notices the overlap and chooses not to be afraid of it.